If you haven't been following the drama, everybody, the COVID stimulus package was decided on by finalized by the U.S. Senate after being sent over by the House last week, just before Christmas. And it was really interesting because there's a lot to unpack. Honestly, we could have used it. There were so many things that should have been in it that just weren't. Of course, we're going to get to the stimulus money, but there should have been greater aid for municipalities and state governments. This is stuff that Nancy Pelosi promised that she would get after she, dropped the ball on it in the last big bill, the CARES Act. And she had a bill that Mnuchin and McConnell agreed to that she didn't allow to go forward. That included stimulus payments before the election. Many thought it was to, not give Donald Trump a win and not have these checks going out with his name on them before the election. That's, even if it was a political thing, that she should be honest about that. That's why she did that. But now she's agreed to even less. $600 payments to each American who's filed their taxes, of course. And, a bunch of other aid to corporate America, extension of unemployment. The one silver lining, I would say, if Democrats negotiated anything good out of it, I would say it was the fact that there's no, free reign liability shield for corporations. So if a company is negligent with their workforce and their people get infected, they don't have a liability shield. That's what the Republicans really wanted. I think it's good that they didn't get that. We have examples that, like Tyson Foods, managers were betting over how much of their staff would become infected with coronavirus. But so the big drama that happened just before Christmas was Donald Trump released this video where he said, $600 is not enough. And he complained about a bunch of other stuff that he thought was in the bill, wasn't actually in the bill. And this was kind of confused a lot of people. And if you don't really pay much attention at all to politics, you probably were confused by this. But they attached the COVID stimulus bill to the omnibus spending bill. That's the regular U.S. budget. So people were saying, why is there all this foreign aid, hundreds of millions of dollars of foreign aid, billions of dollars in the stimulus package? It wasn't in the stimulus package. It was in the budget, in the omnibus spending bill. But because these two were attached, it was easy for people just to say, oh, look, Americans are only getting $600, and why are we sending all this money to pick whatever country, right? Donald Trump made that argument, which, it's one thing if it's a kooky uncle or some guy in the comments of Facebook, arguing that. But this is the president of the United States. He should probably understand how the legislature works and what they were up to. But obviously, he knew he could just say it and get away with it as he has for quite a while. But he demanded the $2,000 payments, and many people saw this as a gift to Nancy Pelosi because that night, I believe this was Christmas Eve. That night, Nancy Pelosi came out and said, yes, we'll do it. We're ready. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, representative from Brooklyn, and Rashida Tlaib, two prominent members of the squad, they had $2,000 amendment ready to go. In fact, it was for $2,020. For them, it was kind of tongue-in-cheek. What better way to say bye to 2020 than to $2,020 for everybody. But so Trump, he was adamant about the 2,000, but there were other things he was complaining about as well. He wants this change to, I believe it's the defense bill, the one that we'll get to that too, that would no longer allow social media companies to have their own type of liability shield from when people post, potentially libelous information online. Basically, Trump's at war with social media companies. He's mad that all of his lies are getting, marked with these warnings because they're lies, like on Twitter and elsewhere. But so it all kind of came to a head. The House on Tuesday, or what? No, today's Tuesday. Sorry, the House attempted unanimous consent last week, and the Republicans didn't vote for it. Didn't vote for the $2,000. This is just to add $2,000 in stimulus to the bill. If I remember, Trump said he wouldn't sign it. That was on Wednesday. On Christmas Eve, on Thursday, they did unanimous consent, and Republicans didn't vote for that. Now come this Monday, yesterday, the House approved the full 2,000 payments. 44 Republicans even voted for it, and 2 blue dog Democrats, including Lipinski, who has been primaried by progressives, so he's on his way out. He voted against it. So the tone deafness, don't think it's, this is why, as progressives, we have a long road to hoe as far as getting rid of these blue dog, conservative, pro-corporate Democrats. But today, finally, this went to the Senate, but really, actually, no, it didn't. Because, Trump had vetoed the defense bill because he wanted to, have that, stipulation against social media companies. And they were prepared to do a veto override. And McConnell was more interested in that, getting the defense spending bill, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. And of course, our main man, the true one, batting at 100 at all times, Bernie Sanders came out, and he argued that this is wrong. That, what are you... the American people are struggling, and they need these payments. And Mitch McConnell, you are blocking this whole situation without, you're blocking the very relief that Americans need. We have millions of Americans have now been plunged into poverty when they weren't before because of this crisis. And we know that the last stimulus checks, which were only $1,200 for each person, raised millions of people out of poverty temporarily. Imagine that. You can raise people out of poverty by giving them money. Whoa, geez. Is this rocket surgery or brain science or something? That's crazy. Hey, Jay Coleman's here. Hey, Jay. Good to see you. Let's hear from the ghoul in chief himself, McConnell.
On Sunday, President Trump signed into law another historic bipartisan rescue package. It will provide major support to American families through what we hope will be the home stretch of our fight with the coronavirus. Congressional Republicans, Congressional Democrats, and President Trump's senior team had all worked together to pass hundreds of billions more dollars in urgent assistance to the people who need it most. This new law will set up a targeted second round of paycheck protection to save jobs. It will renew and continue federal programs that have helped laid-off workers endure the crisis. It will send more cash to households. It will invest billions in vaccine distribution so the success of Operation...
So McConnell here is essentially celebrating that at the last minute, I believe it was Sunday night, Donald Trump, sensing what a disaster this would be to have another government shutdown on his watch, he signed the bill. He signed the damn bill, right? Which includes the $600 payments. Now, some of these payments could come out as soon as tonight. They could hit, if you have direct deposit, if you do like TurboTax and do direct deposit, you could see $600 in your bank account as soon as tonight or tomorrow. It's not like that's not good. It's not like it's good to get people this money, but to act like this isn't woefully inadequate and just a joke and not enough, that's just ridiculous. $600 is a pittance. It's a joke. And if Donald Trump was, grandstanding last week and saying that, this is not enough, and then trying to tack on all these other things he was mad about, social media companies and a couple other things. Well, guess what? Yes, he can be wrong about all. Oh, he also tried to tack on, and I won the election. I totally won. Donald Trump was right about the stimulus checks. He can be wrong about everything else and right about one thing. He could be right with the wrong motivations. But I think the other thing that people need to remember is this is a clear example of Donald Trump stealing an idea from our president-elect Bernard Sanders. No, I wish.
We should all be very, very clear.
But here's what Bernie said today as they were trying to push forward with the defense spending bill.
The working class of this country today faces more economic desperation than at any time since the Great Depression of the 1930s. And working families need help now. Not next year, but right now. Last night, the House of Representatives, with a two-thirds majority, 275 to 134, two-thirds bipartisan vote, moved to increase the direct payment going to working families from $600 per adult to $2,000 per adult. The House did the right thing.
I just quick point of note here. Does anybody else notice that when the Republicans go up to speak, they take off their masks as if they can't be heard? It's just this one little last idiot signal they have to make about masks. And Bernie, another really great progressive senator, Ed Mackey, they've been keeping their masks on because it's not like you can't hear them, right? So just a little point. But Bernie's right. This bill is signed. The $600 are going out, but the $2,000 showdown isn't over. And Bernie knows he's prepared to filibuster the defense bill. So let's see.
I congratulate them, and now it is time for the Senate to step up to the plate. By an overwhelming vote, Democrats and Republicans voted to increase that $600 direct payment to $2,000. Recent poll came out. 78% of the American people think that was the right decision. They're hurting. They want help. The leaders of our country, President Trump, President-elect Biden, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, are all in agreement. We have got to raise that direct payment to $2,000.
There's only one guy who doesn't agree. There's only one person standing in the way of this, and that's Mitch McConnell. So I have some comments here about this I want to read. Jay Coleman said, McConnell has a negative approval rating, corporate McConnell, but still somehow gets elected, kills me. Fred Payne, that's my dad. McConnell doesn't have to worry about anyone but Kentucky Republicans. Absolutely true. Kafifi, I would rather have the Dems seize the Senate and Trump win another 4 years. Mitch McConnell is far more destructive in my opinion. Totally agree. And just as, Bernard, our savior Sanders just said, it's clear as day. The, Mad King Trump wants $2,000. Chuck Schumer wants $2,000 for each of us. Nancy Pelosi wants $2,000 for each of us. Even 44 Republicans in the House want $2,000 for every American under a certain, income bracket, of course, but that's most Americans. There's only one guy standing in the way of this, and it's Mitch McConnell. And so Bernie is ready to filibuster the defense bill until this is brought to a vote. And Bernie knows very well that this is about Georgia. Right now, the U.S. Senate is 52 Republicans and 48 Democrats. And the two Georgian Republicans, Kelly Loeffler and, what is the guy's name? Purdue? I can't remember. He's really bad, guys. Very bad. They are both facing runoff elections. against John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. And they just came out today, these two Republicans, and said that they support the $2,000 even. So the only thing standing in the way of this, of course, there are a few more Republicans that need to join in on that, but the only thing standing in the way of this is Mitch McConnell. And that's what's on the ballot in Georgia right now, is Mitch McConnell going to treat Joe Biden just like he treated Barack Obama and block literally everything that he will attempt to do, because that's what we're looking at here. That's the reality. Okay. So here, the latest, folks. McConnell ties full repeal of Section 230 to push for the $2,000 stimulus checks. Repealing the internet law would be a poison pill for Democrats. So McConnell is now putting a stipulation onto the $2,000, and that's this repeal of Section 230. That's the thing Trump wants. That would, free up litigation, more litigation against social media companies. This is the thing. I'm against big tech. I'm against social media companies. There's an antitrust suit against Facebook right now. That's a great thing, I believe. But you could be for these things for the wrong reasons, right? And Trump really is just upset that social media companies are holding him accountable for his lies. And he wants to be able to lie all he wants on and basically bully and intimidate them. On Tuesday night, McConnell introduced a new bill tying increased stimulus payments to a full repeal of Section 230. According to the bill text obtained by The Verge, the bill comes amid new momentum for direct $2,000 stimulus payments and increasing pressure on party leaders to appease President Trump's escalating demands. So this is it. They're going to try to squeeze every last drop of blood out of this stone. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mitch McConnell is a craven vulture. He lovingly calls himself the Grim Reaper. I'm the Grim Reaper of progressive legislation. And, at a time when what socialism has been trending for the past couple of days because of idiots like Nikki Haley, passing out checks to every American sounds a lot like oogie boogie scary socialism to Republicans. When, really, it's our money in the first place. It's our tax money. And the Trump administration is the one that completely bungled the coronavirus epidemic. So it's their fault, I would say. And they need to pay up. They need to support the American people. Yeah. Yep. This is what Schumer said. Senator McConnell knows how to make $2,000 survival checks reality, and he knows how to kill them. Will Senate Republicans go along with Senator McConnell's cynical gambit, or will they push him to give a vote on the standalone bill? So, who's left in the lurch? The American people, you and me. I'll be real with you guys. The stimulus payment, the first one, helped me out a great deal. Helped me and my wife out a great deal. We both lost work because of the first lockdowns, and now we're in lockdown again. My wife's a cosmetologist. It's part of why I have this fantastic haircut. I am part of a privileged class in the COVID world, in the COVID age. Being married to a state board licensed cosmetologist, I get haircuts at home anytime I want. But she's out of work. She can't work. She can't take clients right now because she's in lockdown. So I got some more comments here. Jay Coleman, yep, right-wingers converted masks to cultural signifier because that's what they do to literally every issue. It's unbelievable. If you want to understand how we got this bad. And now there's this variant of COVID that's started in Britain where they attempted a herd immunity strategy, which is basically a nationwide eugenics program. They attempted that early on, just like there was a Trump staffer at Health and Human Services who was pushing the same bullcrap. And now we have a mutation because these people, it's just as bad as the flu. It's just blah, 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 blah. No, it's not, people. It's bad. Jay Coleman, it is timely. Georgia voters must know if they flip the Senate, they get cash money checks. Yeah. And Loeffler and Perdue might be, pushing for it, but I think it's a bit too little, too late. I'm hopeful for Georgia. I don't get my hopes up too much because it's painful to have your hopes dashed again and again.